Listen carefully, because the first thing nobody tells you about a nuclear blast is this: the danger doesn't end when the flash fades. It actually begins the moment you realize you're still alive. If you ever see that white pulse, brighter than welding light, hotter than molten metal, you don't stare, you don't freeze. You drop like your life depends on it. Because it does. The shockwave that follows is moving faster than your ability to think. Survival starts with instinct. Hit the ground, cover your head, open your mouth so your lungs don't implode. And if you're wondering why dropping works, it's simple physics. Pressure waves skim over low profiles and rip apart anything standing tall. Half the injuries in real blast zones come from people who stayed upright just long enough to meet a wall at 300 miles an hour. If you survive that first punch, your next enemy is invisible and way quieter. Fallout. This is where people make fatal mistakes because movies have lied to you. Fallout isn't some glowing dust drifting like snow. It's tiny, deadly particles of soil and debris sucked into the mushroom cloud, irradiated, and thrown back to Earth like microscopic bullets. And here's the trick: the closer you are to the blast, the faster that fallout drops. So you don't run around in panic. You get inside the nearest structure and put mass between you and the outside world. Concrete, brick, dirt, anything dense. Radiation hates density. Even a few walls can cut the dose you absorb by 90%. That's why basements save lives. It's not magic, it's shielding. Now you've gotten inside. Good. But here's what people don't realize. The first 24 hours are not about finding food or water. They're about outweighting the decay curve. Fallout loses most of its lethality in the first day, about a 90% drop, thanks to something called the 7-10 rule. Every sevenfold increase in time means the radiation drops by a factor of 10. So your job isn't to explore like a post-apocalyptic adventurer. Your job is to sit still, breathe slow, and not die from curiosity. The difference between patience and panic is measured in Roentgens. But let's talk air, because you're going to be tempted to tape windows shut like the internet always suggests. Don't waste time. You're not trying to build a hermetically sealed bunker. You're trying to keep particulates out. That means closing vents, shutting doors, and staying in the center of the building. If you've got a basement, even better. Airborne particles settle quickly, and radiation doesn't seep through solid concrete like some ghost. Ionizing particles need a direct path. One layer of earth or brick, you're already winning. Of course, fear will whisper that you need to check on your car, gather supplies, maybe even find your family. But here's the brutal side of nuclear survival. Every minute outside in the first hour is worth hours of radiation dose inside. You can't help anyone if you collapse from acute exposure halfway there. The smart move, the move almost nobody emotionally wants to make, is staying put. After that first crucial 24 hours, the outside world becomes survivable enough to move with purpose instead of panic. Water comes next, but not in the way you think. Your tap water is probably still safe. Radiation doesn't magically infect water underground or inside closed pipes. What you avoid is surface water, anything open to the sky. Fallout settles into it like poison dust. If you must use questionable water, filter out solids first. Cloth, coffee filter, anything that removes particles, because the radiation isn't in the water, it's in the debris floating in it. Then boil it for pathogens. This insanely simple trick has saved lives in real-world contamination scenarios. This section is based on practical field survival experience rather than formal academic sources. Eventually, you'll need to leave your shelter, but not before thinking about exposure. Cover your skin. Wear a mask if you have one, or wrap cloth around your mouth. Radiation on your skin isn't what hurts you. Inhaling or ingesting particles is the real danger. And when you get back inside, you wash. Soap, water, rinse thoroughly. Don't scrub hard. You're trying to remove particles, not sandpaper them deeper into your skin. And finally, here's the truth survival manuals bury in fine print. The world won't end in fire. It'll end in confusion. People stepping outside too early. People drinking contaminated water. People assuming the danger has passed because the explosion is gone. The first 24 hours are a psychological war as much as a physical one. If you can stay calm, think scientifically, and resist the urge to make heroic but suicidal moves, your odds skyrocket.